The new DLC is broken, and I was the one that broke it. China starts off the game incredibly weak. Oh no. Oh dear. On the other hand, Japan starts off quite incredibly strong. 16 military factories. The question is, if I was to rush China and annex them as quickly as possible, how quick could I speedrun China playing as Japan? Let's try all the cheesiest strategies possible to see if we can annex China in record time. And this is the new patch. China has been buffed, and you can see now the surrender limit is higher, +5, plus 10% off top of the minimum. So now China will be a lot tougher to annex. How much tougher? That is the question. Let us begin. Let's start off with plain old infantry. Back to basics. Keep it nice and simple. The Chinese infantry swarm. Get ready for War Thunder, a free vehicle combat game available on PC, consoles, and mobile. Control over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships from 10 major nations. Covering everything from early biplanes to modern jets. Again, features detailed vehicles and graphics and sound. 90 million players engaging in regular PvP battles. You can use mouse, keyboard, or controller, or even the more advanced simulator mode. Whether you're on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox, click the link in the pinned comment or in the video description to join the game. As an added bonus, if you're new and haven't played for 6 months, you can get a bonus pack on PC and consoles. This includes 3 premium vehicles, 100,000 Silver Lions, 7 days of premium time, and more. All available for a limited time. And that's all part of the USA bonus pack. Don't forget, War Thunder is free on desktop, console, and mobile, so click the link below. This is going to need good reinforce rate, so first of all, we're going to stack that radio. Then, of course, production bonuses are useful, and getting those soft attack bonuses early game is going to be useful too. Military factories are going to be a must. Queue those up. We are going to be doing the historical path. We don't have the option to proceed with that until we get the event. So in that case, we're just going to go for the free factories. 2 factories here, 2 factories here. Get them while you can. Early game. All right. Support, artillery, tank, not needed. However, probably a little bit of train and a little bit of truck is going to go a long way. The rest of them are going to go into guns. Scroll down to the very bottom. We don't need those. Regarding the ships, I'm just going to ignore that for now. Regarding the ships, though, we will take advantage of them for shore bombardment. Select them all, merge them up, and we'll take advantage of some light cruisers to do some shore bombardment. Plus, planes. You're going to shift left click on these in the top right. Can you see here? Right, these ones? Shift left click each of them one by one by one. And we're going to send them all to just north of Hiroshima. And then we'll exercise those boys to level 3. All right, send all the divisions to mainland Japan. Also exercise to level 3. And why not also take advantage of motorized priority? Something we'll definitely be taking advantage of early game. These 2 focuses, yep, you know what to do. Free mills, only 35-day focuses. That is a straight up win. First focus, second focus. The incident. Purge the Kahoda faction, which is the historical path, which opens us up for the historical focuses. And this is what you want to do. This one. We'll talk more about that later. Done. Proceed to this focus. 5% extra factory output. It's very useful when your stability is low, because stability hurts your production output. Here we go. Reinforce the East Mibai garrisons. And you can see here, this removes the 365 days from the mission of the Kwantung army growing impatient. What is that all about? So, you are going to go to war against China on historically. And this will happen after 672 days. But if you shave off a year, you can go to war with China just a tiny little bit earlier. Alternatively, because you start the game as non-aligned, you can't justify. So I can't justify from the get-go. Alternatively, you can go down the historical path. And all the way down here, you've got the option to flip to fascist. But that comes incredibly late. And that's not helpful for this strategy because we're all about annexing China as quickly as possible. Radio. All right, the boys have exercised. Let's train them up, split them up. S to split, S to split. 2 armies, 3 armies, another 12 divisions, and then another full army of 24. I think for the start of the war here, we could have full 5 armies. So let's just actually aim for that. 1, 2, 3. Next up, we are going to assign a field marshal that's best for the job. And one of the issues you've got as Japan early game is you struggle with supply. In this circumstance, we're going to promote this guy, assign him as a field marshal, and give him logistics wizard. Probably the most OP trait in the game. Minus 15%, supply consumption is a biggie. Also, getting into battle quicker is very important too. Hence the reason why we're stacking radio and organization first. When you've got a very small width like this and numerous armies with numerous divisions, having reinforce rate high is very useful to you. Hence why we're doing this. Top it off as well, we'll change our garrison law to local police force and make sure it's set to balance. Now, we need to pump out guns. Loads of guns. And immediately, we are going to be rushing for more soft attack on our infantry. Stack it as high as it can go. All of a sudden, 603 days is now 237 days. We are so much closer to war than we've ever been. You know what? Concentrated industry, why not? Probably won't be able to take advantage of it because we're so close to war anyway. Deploy you, 2 armies, and then that'll be a kit of 3 armies. Put low priority for this army, and therefore all the guns will go to the top one. Next up, 3 armies. Exercise to level 3. And then we're also going to look for infantry guys. These guys. This guy. See this here? Infantry leader giving a big boost of 30% extra defense. But not only that, an extra 10% attack as well when you go for infantry expert. Am I playing Europa Universalis here? Stacking all the modifiers? This feels very on Hearts of Iron 4. Let's make number go big, right? Next up, we're going to go for the Taches, which they've recently reduced the amount of time this takes. This gives a big boost of 15% extra stability. Top that off as well, we're also going to go for worker conditions. And then top it off as well, there are some advisors we can go for too that can give extra stability as well. Just stack that stability nice and high. Extra army, deploy. Another army. And then a new infantry leader. Boom, we got stability now with massive factory output too. Now we've got the option to reform our army. Tanks or infantry. Come on, you know what we're going to do. Org bonus followed by an attack bonus. 5% stability. I'll take it. Remember, when you go to war against China, you will lose 30% stability because you're in an offensive war. So if you think this number is high, well, you don't need to make it any higher. No, trust me. Get that high number as high as you can get it. More infantry attack. This time, 10%. All right, let's get the boys on the front. Field Marshal front line. Pop you guys here. Next up, we're going to grab a bunch of divisions. Going to grab that from Manchu. These guys are going to be a dedicated army just to push this north, hold the north. This is going to gain us some planning bonus and give us offensive capabilities. Now, you're probably thinking, Dave, hang on a second. This is such a basic division. This is such a basic plan. Remember, this is not the only run I'm going to do of this. I'm going to do a run with artillery. I'm going to do a run with naval invasions. We're going to mix up this strategy and try many different things to see if we can annex China as quickly as possible. How underwhelming would it be if this run is actually the quickest? Because it's all about rushing, we need to get the initial bonus. See the top bonus for your doctrine? The one that instantly gives you this. So organization for infantry is good. Recoverable pop is not good for what we're doing. Planning bonus is pretty good. This one gives extra soft attack and breakthrough for your entire army. And extra planning too. Okay. No. I think Grand Assault is the one we're going to go with. Also, we can look at infantry. Infantry mobile gives you extra... gives you research for trucks. Okay. Entrenchment, no. Supply usage, no. Soft attack for artillery, no. Extra HP is kind of good. Not what we're looking for. Honestly, guys, no. It looks like we actually go for operations to begin with. The Grand Offensive is the way forward. And the minute I click this, I should notice I should give extra planning. This is something I never actually think to check, but in this case, it is worthwhile because we make doubly sure we take advantage of all the bonuses. And we are on the front. A little bit over... consumed by supply here, but only slightly though, so it's not something I'm really worrying too much about. Checking the amount of time we've got, 65 days, and we're just training the final troops. We're gonna have a bonus army that will appear. Actually, no, we're a bit behind on the guns on that one, so he'll probably arrive as reinforcements just to hold the front. Remember, as you push down, you'll get through China really quickly. You'll just rip through them immediately. But then when you get to about here, the front line gets quite long, and that means the concentration of your divisions is not as high, meaning the amount of firepower and stats that you can squeeze into the front line is going to be more difficult. The army can be deployed. We've not got a lot of time left, but it means we're going to have a full 5 armies worth ready to take on China. Another one. Not got a lot of time to train these guys, and I've run out of infantry dudes. So anyone who's got the attack ability will do. Get on the front. Now this will probably push the supply over the top. It doesn't matter because there's a breakout. I'll get more supply depots and therefore not have to worry about supply issues as I push. As you push into China, unlocking this garrison law is very useful because it reduces the amount of garrisons that you need. Actually, it increases by 5%, but you lose the damage it takes and you gain extra compliance, so it's worth it. Infantry expert is essential, and there isn't really an army guy. Oh, there is the offensive guy. I guess we're going for him next. activate battle plan, be aggressive, oversupply. Do I care though? Probably get that in time actually. And it made no difference because it's connecting to an area that hasn't got enough supply already. There's a bottleneck either here. Oh, it's actually here. It goes around to here. We have to improve that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. I realize this is probably going to cost me more. Doesn't really feel very worth it. How does supply work again? All right, we're good to go. We've got a surplus of guns, which we will because we're going to lose some guns as we initially make our offensive. War will be available right about now. All right. Wow, we've got so many divisions on the front line here, and we're at war against all, well, most of China. They will all join the faction together, so I need to plan where I'm going to go. Initially, I want to slide here because I'll make an encirclement here. Then I also want to jump for this supply depot, and then there's also another supply depot here too. I want to initially make a break. Also, there's a gap in the front line, so I need to initially break through to it and then go from there. I want to make sure this front line is as tight as possible. I need to make sure all the best divisions are all in the same spots. Cebu is activated, and this will give us an influx of guns. Yep, and manpower requirement drops as well. Push! And you can see as we initially push here, we're actually holding them back. Do you know what? I'm not going to use my ships on this run, but we'll use shore bombardment in future to illustrate how different it would be if we had a little bit of extra shore bombardment. And why not use the planes as well? Why not? Off you go. Boom. The planes have arrived. Close air support. Off you go. So I'm doing a little bit micro here, which is a bit unusual for my videos. Are you feeling well, Dave? I'm going to split here to push southwards and take this peninsula. And then to top that off as well, we are going to get a surround on this city. And that's a big, important victory point now, because it cuts off the supply in the north. Whoosh! First warlord is down, and we've got a massive break. What I'm going to do is Control B, and these are all railroad to the front now and push forward. Aggressive. Whoosh! Take a shot every time Dave says, whoosh! All right, push, 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 push. Grab those. That peninsula. The minute you clear this peninsula, the better, because it means then that troops can be divided up and split onto different front lines. All right, we need to go here, need to go here. These guys need to get on the front, so Control B them to the front line. Off you go. Aggressive. Be aware of this front line, because this is kind of a weak spot. There's a chance that AI may decide at this point to push in towards Beijing. But if as long as you're holding them in the north, you'll be doing just fine. See, there's little gaps forming here. That's good. Means you need to take advantage of those gaps and push along here. Don't get stuck behind a big river. That will be the death of you. And micro. What I'm doing is I'm holding shift and right clicking and queuing up my movements to different locations. Pushing across the coastline is very important too, because it means you can grab all of these ports and cut off their supply. You can see there's a big break here in the south here. Push towards Wuhan. How are we doing for the date? We're in April 937. That's not too bad. And yep, supply is looking pretty good. Push, push, push. Realize I'm not actually using motorized supply. Whoops. Oh, well, I guess the runs in future are going to be a little bit more refined than this one. Guys have pushed forward a little bit too far and become overextended. That's okay. And we've ended up in a situation where we're behind enemy lines and it's kind of worked in our favor. I don't have a problem with that. And we've accidentally made an encirclement. That's always something nice to see. I'll be fair with you. If you're taking this really slowly, you probably do want to make little encirclements and little pushes as you go. And I'm kind of inadvertently doing that. It's probably disappointing in a way to see this, because we're thinking, hang on a minute, the Chinese are a little bit too weak, and these divisions are just kind of raw, you know. Wow, how are you doing this so effectively? Well, yeah, if you rush them, that's the problem, really, isn't it? Because their modifiers don't get reduced. See, look, they're losing 10% defense. I believe they start off at -15, so yeah. All right, once again, there's a gap in the front line here, which always seems to happen. This southern bit doesn't always get fully taken, and that means it gives you a full opportunity to push southwards. And that's it, just shimmy across the coastline. A little bit of a bottleneck at Wuhan there. Then we can keep pushing westward. See, they've annexed this puppet here. Let's have a look at the progress. Take off the miners, and they're at 75%. So it does look like we're going to have to take the vast majority of land from Big China. AI sometimes is a little bit reluctant to make pushes, so we're just going to kind of give them a little kick. Once again, this point now, the little victory points are really important. That's why we're pushing for all of them across the front. And you can see here, if we look really closely, yeah, there we go. I hold shift there and I just like cycled across all of them. I think we're near the end now. Agree to American terms. Agree to American terms? Filthy Americans? I don't think so. Push here, push here, push, push, push. Be aware, I also didn't choose to annex the Mongol puppet, this one, the Nanjing. That is opportunity for potentially an opportunity to speed it up a little bit. Because remember, that's one less warlord we have to fight. So submit, take it all. Oh, they've got a bit of a navy. Always good not to destroy their navy because you get to steal it. 17th of June, 1937. Beautiful. Are you impressed? It's not too bad. How could we improve this? Shore bombardment for the ships. Little bit of artillery on the division. Just adds a tiny little bit extra soft attack. Big boost of 16% soft attack. Potentially higher if I get the attacks with it as well. And then potentially taking the Mongol puppet here. And there's a few other refinements as well. But you know what? I don't want to do that. You know what we're going to do instead? Horses. We need speed. Again. Same again. Factories. This time, convert all divisions into the horse. And it's an identical division with the size of it. And you know what? I'm just going to stick with this because it means we can make these in numbers. And yeah, well, we are going to make it in numbers. As many as we can make. We're just not going to waste any time this time. We're going to make more. There is one downside. A single battalion horse uses more guns. So it's 120 guns per horse battalion versus a single infantry battalion is 100 guns. So technically 20% more expensive. Something to keep in mind. Anyway, the starting steps are pretty much the same. Get those mills in, get those guns in, and off we go. So how are we going to do things differently this time? One, we're going to take advantage of our ships. We are going to do naval invasions with shore bombardment. And we're also going to take the power of the horse. So just, I want you to mentally vision now a horse. Where are horses? Where are they? Here we go. Imagine this horse, but imagine it on like a D-Day style landing craft. And they launch the horses off the landing craft the minute we get on the beaches. Just imagine that. Brand that into your brain. Seeing as this is all about amount of guns, I'm going to do the miles a little bit differently. I didn't show it, but what I did with the miles before is I focus on pure soft attack. These bonuses and this bonus. But this time around, I'm just going to go on pure numbers. So we're going to go for here. Then we're going to go for here. And then production output. Basically, numbers, numbers, numbers. Because horses are 20% more expensive, it is going to slow us down just a little tiny bit. Meaning the army size may be slightly smaller compared to when we initially go to war. So this is less about refining soft attack, more about speed and naval support. The Navy game has changed. If you go into naval support, you see that landing craft now allows +2 divisions per naval invasion. It means the base amount is less than it used to be. There is ways we can increase that. And one of those is to go for Marines. We need 60 XP for that. So that will increase +2 per invasion. If we do a naval invasion here, let's just say we go here. The maximum number of divisions we can put on this is 6. So could we do more than one? That's 2. Ah, there we go. 6, 6. So it looks like 6 per invasion, but then we can do multiple ones, I'm presuming. Ah, the maximum cap as 2 has been reached. So the maximum we can send in one wave is 12 divisions. So let's exercise our fleet. This is going to give us naval XP. And as before, it does give a ridiculous amount. So after a certain amount of days, we can do the marine tech. And that will allow us to increase that cap by a further 2. So we can send a total of 16 horses on boats. Top that off as well. I forgot to grab all the planes. Merge them up. Exercise to level 3. A little bit of air support will go a long way. Also, what we're going to do differently is we're going to take out Nanjing, which is something we can take a vassal with. All we have to do is complete a focus. And we're not going to do the infantry focuses now because we don't need them. They won't benefit us. So in that circumstance, we're just going to take advantage of some other focuses. Radio, still crucially important. Very small division. Crucial for swarming capabilities. Here we go. Establish the Mongol military government. And we just basically say, hey, bro. Hand over your country. All right, the ships. We're done exercising now. Go back home. Top that off as well. Now we can go into our special forces and go for the first one. Increases the cap by +2. Also, if you go all the way down to here, you have the option to increase the cap by another +1. That's the plan cap. There's 2 different caps. There's per division, and there's also the plan. Interesting. Okay. But there's something else. Agencies. That's right. Getting that intel advantage can give you a max of a 15% extra attack bonus. So we'll take advantage of that as well. The Mongol government. Boom. Submits to our rule. Now, what we can do now is take their army, and then the Manchu army. Sign them. Pop them on this front line, and off you go. Anyway, back to the plan. Could be argued as well that going to war against the puppet here, which launches an attack against Shaanxi, I believe, will allow you to take these 2 states and hand it to the Mongol puppet, which then makes a wider front line, which is really bad for China, because that means that you can free up this front line here with your puppet divisions. That's food for thought. Lots of optimization options available. We're not going to go for working conditions this time because we want the maximum amount of guns and infantry in the field. Infantry expert does not benefit here. This is more about speed, less about overall firepower numbers. A spy, and we have 1 Chinese double agent, so pop them there. Split the armies up. 3 armies. I'm going to do another 21, I guess. That'll make it 4 armies. Still, the numbers aren't as high as they once were. Let's see how much time we've got. So we're reducing it now by going for the garrisons. And this will reduce it down to 165 days. Same again, though. We are going to go for the organizer guy. There he is. Promote. Here we go. Reduce supply. Getting that supply down is very important. That's the one advantage that China has. They have very low supply with their own focuses and their own divisions, because most of the divisions are small, plus they get some modifiers to benefit you. Japan, on the other hand, has a malice towards their supply. There you go. Where is it? There you go. Supply consumption plus 20%. So that really disincentivizes you to make big divisions. Or maybe the last run of this is going to be the worst one. All right. Let's put the boys on the front. Same mission as before. Now the front line is ever so slightly wider because we've got access to these 3 provinces. Now this is where it gets a bit weird because we can't take advantage of infantry expert. We've got cavalry officer, but it's not really something we'll take advantage of within the game's time frame. So in that circumstance, just go for pure attack capabilities. Most of these pike people have got samurai lineage. Now it actually does something. Plus, we are going to do some naval invasions. I'm going to do a landing into Shanghai. Probably spreading them out as much as this is probably not worth it, is it? It's probably a little bit too much spread. And then another naval invasion from here into here. One and then 2. One thing I've not factored in is the amount of time it does actually take to do a naval invasion. I could catch myself on my pants down here if I'm not careful. Okay, there we go. 2 separate armies. 2 separate 8-division naval invasions, which those numbers don't feel that high to me, so I'm kind of a little bit nervous about this. There is a focus we can go for here that gives us an attack bonus within certain regions of China, and it could be a good way of breaking soft spots. Be honest, though, the pattern is always the same. You initially break through immediately, no resistance, then you get to a bit of resistance here, then you make another breakthrough, and then it's kind of open country, and you just snake into the victory points. And with that in mind, I don't think I'm ever going to run into an issue where I can't break them, so I don't think that's even going to work for me. Meanwhile, horses. Do you have any horse bonuses? Let's just type it in and find out. I don't think so. Type cavalry? Cav? There's a cavalry bonus for the Mongol country, but not for me. So they have to be like expeditionary divisions, which I'm not really interested in. All right, so what we're doing differently this time, it means we're going to do 2 naval invasions. We're also going to have full air support immediately. We're all going to have full shore bombardment too. We do that by splitting off everything that isn't basically a small ship. Yeah, that'll do. And the submarines too. And now we've got a dedicated shore bombardment craft. Now what's really strange is naval invasion support can't be done at the same time as patrol, but patrol is what builds you extra naval domination. Naval domination is what allows you to do naval invasion. So we're going to have to split this in 2, put them on always engage, and then let them patrol these 2 regions continuously. And then, when the naval invasions activate, we don't need the domination anymore. And in that circumstance, then we can change from patrol to shore bombardment, naval invasion support. Deploy a little bit of fuel, just to keep the fuel levels topped up. All right, spies. Not gotten full support yet, but when the war kicks off, it's close. 51 days. All right, we're getting there. Plan is this. Activate battle plans immediately, naval invasion straight away, and then go from there. We have currently got 17 days left. I'm a little bit nervous, boys. Here we go. All right. Let's drop it down to 2 speed, and I can micro a little bit more intensely. So the naval invasions aren't going to activate immediately. It takes like a microsecond before it activates. Both guys going? Yes and yes. Need to make sure we definitely micro into the gaps in the front line. Classic. The most important one is that one. Top it off as well. We're going to micro down to here too. Top it off. We can micro into this free land. Don't focus too heavily on this area because you're going to get bogged down. There's not a lot of supply in this region. Making sure both armies go. Yep. Then we immediately change on to naval invasion support for both of them. This is going to add you that shore bombardment that what you need. You see there's an immediate gap in the front line, so straight away take advantage of it. Plus you want to tweak the front lines to make sure that you're pushing in the right areas. And of course straight away, I know you can't push into this region, but just keep going anyway. Go, go, go. The biggest concern we're going to run into is if we get stuck behind a river, we've not got enough attack power to overcome the Chinese. So it's a matter of using mobility is our greatest asset. We weren't really able to select the doctrine for this either. Probably would be better off on mobile warfare for the extra 10% speed, but 10% is not very big. And it looks like, oh, okay, never mind. I was about to say that we weren't going to land here, but we actually are. I do realize that maybe dropping into 2 locations actually is difficult for me to hold those. I suppose this is almost like a bit of a distraction for the AI. I don't really feel like this benefits us that much. because we kind of need to land and then push. I kind of hoping they wouldn't have any troops on this front line. Maybe it's best to delay it a little bit, maybe. But by the looks of things, we've actually landed here. This has actually gone really well. I'm eating my own words here, guys. All right, back to the 3-speed. We have landed here. How effective will this landing be? I'm not sure. But we're going to bring those extra divisions over and go here. All right. One of the puppets has died. It's left a big gap in the front line. Whoop. Move forward. Control B to the front. Off you go. We're connecting the fronts up here. And there's another opportunity to push here. Okay, so this looks like it is working out in a way. The fact that this had no divisions on the coastline, just let me land willy-nilly without any problems, is really good for us. This one, on the other hand, they were way more prepared. Well, that's okay. Once again, it's creating a diversion tactic here. And then push. Trying to micro as intensely as I can here to try and pin everyone in place. And then this army initially then will be added on straight away to the field marshal front line. And this field marshal front line keeps having to be modified over and over again. We have strikes. That's so unfortunate. Hence the reason why stability is very important. If we got mutinies, this actually would be a real run because I'd have an attack penalty, which would really hurt this run. So if you want to get stability, just find the filter for it and find where we need to go. I think the stability is ticking down at the moment because we're experiencing a disaster. We have hit that point that I was very fearful of, and we struggling to break across a big river here. Luckily, we've got the east flank. We're just struggling to break the west one. Impact we're having with shore bombardment. Let's have a look. So you can see shore bombardment is happening with this battle here. This is the icon that shows it. And if you hover over his defense and breakthrough stats, you can see shore bombardment is reducing their stats by 7%. I'll be honest with you, that number is very, very low. And I think it's might because we're not using the battleships, but then we don't have the fuel for that. So it's a catch-22. I'm going to lie to you, the speed that we've got here is fantastic. And that's given us the ability to just go around the outside. So now this army here is redundant. So we can just add him on to the front line. And I think we've got the breakthrough now. Yeah, that's it. This is what we talked about earlier. Eventually you reach a point where you just kind of go around them. And that's kind of what's happened. And with the speed we've got now from the cavalry, we can just snake to the victory points. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Whenever they last stand, that will significantly slow us down. If we get these middle cities, we're going to be in for a win. Here, here, and here. Also look for the capitals, usually worth it. Is it going to be here? No, it's not. Oh my goodness, snaking. Can you remember in the old days of HOI4 when the AI used to do this? How frustrating was that? Now that AI knows how I feel. 75%. Question probably you guys are going to ask me is why not form a collab government? One, they've nerfed collab governments. They're nowhere near as effective as they used to be. And two, there's only time to do one collab government. So the amount of difference you'd actually make is reduce their surrender limit by like 5%. Just not worth it. And is that it? Surprisingly, the bit that's holding out the most is actually here. Can we grab these final cities? This is slightly faster. Is that it? Once again, gobbling up the excess land is going to be useful as well, not just all the victory points. Push, push, and push. Question is right now, where is the capital city? We go here, then we're going to go here. Struggling to break this one. Strange encirclement here, isn't it? 92%. That's the other puppet. I'm not even going to take that puppet out. It's not even worth it. But we have reached a weird point right now where we've taken the vast majority of the big cities and there really aren't any more. Oh, this is why. Okay. That is the reason why in this circumstance I'm not capping them. That's the one big city we didn't actually get. And surprisingly, the naval invasion here has actually hurt us. So, you know what's funny is the naval invasion here was very effective. The one in the middle, though, not so much. And we're going to break it. 3, a 2, and a 1, and a cap. So what's funny as well that we were ahead of time for a brief moment, but that one city has held us back. There's a lot of victory points on is it Nanjing? Am I pronouncing that right? Not Chinese, guys. Sorry. July. Yep, that was not as good. It looks like the raw stats was very effective. See what I mean? If you get stuck behind the river here, which we did, and we got stuck behind the river here, the lack of stats is what really hurt us there. So it looks like to min-max this, we need to optimize for our stats as well as optimizing for numbers. So it looks like the first strategy is the most effective, but there are ways we can modify it and make it even better. Speed was good, but not good enough. Again, this is going to be very embarrassing if this doesn't work, because this would be tested to perfection with the successful runs we've done before, okay? So if this doesn't work, I've got egg on my face, all right? We're going to go with 4 on the artillery, everything else onto guns. And we are going to focus on soft attack because it looks like the stats are the way forward. So we'll go for the production output, that first one, the special Japanese one. Then we go for firepower. Attack the firepower. All the divisions again. And move them over. This time, we are going to focus on the soft attack bonus. This has been nerfed. It used to be 10% extra soft attack for support. Now it's only 5%. There's a chance we'll probably could go for the line artillery, just because it's going to give the better overall stats. Radio is still essential. Not as essential, but still essential. I think the plan is to do a naval invasion here, but not do the one here. And if I were to do the naval invasion here, I need to delay it. It's almost a bit like we have to take the first 2 warlords in the north, maybe even 3. Then we could do a naval invasion here, maybe because they'll reprioritize where they put their troops on the front line. So it has to be like a delayed response. Let's go! First focus is going to be the same. Then I'm going to rely on the extra bonuses. We might have to finish these while we're at war, but then going for the Mongol vassal state is very important because that helps us fight less divisions against the Chinese. Plus, we get a little bit of a slightly longer border, which helps in the long run too. We're going to try and go for the full 5 armies again. I still don't think there's going to be enough time for this because it's going to change our production output, but I'm still going to try, okay? The first step to failure is trying. Same again, let's exercise the big fleet. This will consume fuel. Doesn't seem to consume as much as it used to, though. Maybe Paradox have tweaked that one. Then we just need to gain the XP. And that'll let us unlock the first Marine Special Forces doctrine. Let's prioritize stability just a tiny little bit earlier. We'll go for working conditions now. Could argue the earlier you go for that, the more it disadvantages you because you lose that extra production output when you're helping out the workers. 10% is actually pretty brutal. But, once again, investing for the future when you're only playing till 1937, so there isn't a future. Sometimes I question my own strategies. Vassalize the Mongol states. Same again, we're going to go for the production for the artillery, then the soft attack bonuses. And to be fair with you, don't really get to take advantage of more soft attack bonuses because you need several different traits before you can get down to there. But we'll try. Early on the spies again. Same again. Organizer. Time left. 131 days. Making great time. Now we get to take advantage of infantry stats, which we couldn't do that with the horses. And also there's an artillery bonus down there too. Alrighty then. Naval invasion time. And then here. Same again. Naval invasion. This time if we go from here, we can only cover 1 sea zone. That way we don't have to spread ourselves out as much. The only issue is we're going to have 8 less divisions on this front line compared to this one. And that just potentially could hurt us initially. Doctrines! We have the ability to take advantage of fire concentration, extra org, and extra reduction of combat width for line artillery. And we are going to go for the line artillery specialty. And it is going to consist of this. Yes. Only concern is we are a little bit low on the XP, but we are going to gain 25 from this doctrine. So it's all going to work out in the end. 2 spies. Same again. Eyes on the Chinese. Stop exercising. We have an extra army in training at the moment. Once again, it's going to be one of those we can only join the war. I guess I could deploy them now. I'm thinking about joining the armies a little bit later, but it's going to be a difficult one. Anyway, regardless, we're going to launch the attack immediately. And then this one, the purple guy, can launch his naval invasion immediately. Now, the other one, I don't want to do that. There is an iron side, so we can go ground pounder for an extra shore bombardment bonus. We'll remove everything that doesn't have shore bombardment capabilities. So we'll remove the carriers, actually destroyers as well. Basically, all the ones that have got attack capabilities. 25 days. Ooh, this is a little bit tight. Not feeling very good about this. Now we have to exercise to get to level 3, otherwise we'll not take advantage of the trained bonus. We are still a little bit behind on the artillery. Ooh, we're as good as we're ever going to be. Supply's a bit of an issue here, but we're as prepared as we're ever going to be. All right, this time around, shore bombardment's going to hit hard. It's going to hit in the north of the Yellow Sea. First naval invasion is going to go immediately. Second one, all the firepower is going to hit really bloody hard. A little behind on our line artillery. Not massively, but it's enough to be a little bit concerned. I think we probably can dial back the trucks and the trains just to balance things out. The preparation part here is a little bit not on point. The logistics should be a tiny little bit better. Anyway, Marco Polo. I'm nervous, boys. I'm nervous. All right, off we go. Shore bombardment's on its way. We're initially braking. Same again. Whoosh. The victory points. Need to get over that river. That river is crucial. Naval invasion is commencing. It looks like the Chinese are covering their ports, but the warlords not so much. That leaves us in a good position where we can do this. Looking good. So once again, the front line is a little bit narrower than before because we've got less troops dedicated for the full front. Made an easy encirclement, which is always nice to see. Remember, the stats are on my side now. The amount of firepower we hit with is so much harder. So getting stuck behind the river is less likely to happen now. One of the warlords has tapped out. For the most part, things are looking pretty smooth at the moment. Be careful of the gap in the front line. That's going to cause issues. Just need to connect the front lines up here, and then I'll feel a little bit more relaxed. And there we go. I'm going to make a push here and just see the amount of shore bombardment effectiveness we're getting. Oh, 26%. Oh, okay. We got the big numbers now. All right. We're in a good situation now. I'm feeling way more confident. Railroad to the front. We just need to get around the outside of here and take this city. If this city falls, once again, the front line becomes significantly more open. And I think it's time to do the naval invasion for you guys now. We need to go back to patrol to build naval dominance, which is so weird that you don't get any naval dominance. There you go. Off you go. When you're on naval invasion support, that is a bit weird. It looks like we might be in a good spot to do a big encirclement here, so I'm just going to keep pushing for it. Infantry experts a little bit behind on that, but we've catched up now. All right, garrisons are going to be a concern here, so I'm going to drop the garrisons down. The extra army is ready, and I'm immediately going to put them on this front line. Oh, and there's a beautiful gap here. Oh, this is perfect. And this is still looking pretty good. Once again, so close to an encirclement, but just not quite there. And this is it. Oh, already made one encirclement. Pin him in. Pin him. And boom. Nice. Once again, you can see there's a gap here now. Plug the gap. Or mine the gap. And there we go. We landed. So I'm going to make another... No, I don't make another front line because I don't want to confuse the AI. If the AI gets really confused with multiple front lines, we will redraw them in a moment, but things are looking pretty smooth right now. The speed's not in my favor, but there is no front line that I'm running into problems with. Artillery is still a bit of a concern, but we'll be behind on steel now. Imported from America. Of all places to import it from. America. Fueling the war effort. All right, the breakthroughs happened, so just keep pushing. I always struggle with this city here. Strikes! Oh, unfortunate. We're only 3% below stability for that to fire. Once again, not a biggie. I think most of the damage has already been done. I'm going to control B again to get them on the front. Wuhan's been taken. The northern city has been taken. How are we doing? Oh, we're doing very well. Grab those inner cities. You see a new capital that tells you where the most of the victory points are concentrated. So that's what you want to aim for. And push. Again and again and again. Ah, they managed to get there in time. That's bad. Low on fuel right now, and that's quite bad. Because that means our planes aren't as effective as they are normally. If you hover over this, you can see the penalty to your aircraft. 75% less mission efficiency. That's pretty bad. And luckily, they've actually managed to redeploy to that victory point really quickly. So they've actually done a really good job of denying me there. I'm going to do the grand right click and see how much damage we can do. Oh, and they just literally flooded out of that city the minute we got over the border. Take all. And Dave, don't forget to take the Navy. Why do you always forget to take the Navy, Dave? Come on. The 1st of June, 1937. Well, it turned out the first run was the most effective. Well, who would have known? I think if you macro the divisions just in the right places, I think you could probably do it on this run. Plus, as an added bonus, this division is more future-proof. I think the better choice of doctrine initially is actually back to the original, which was the operations, and that is Grand Assault, just for the extra max planning of 10%. 10% breakthrough and 5% extra soft attack. Not saying that this one isn't important. It is. As it unlocks, you do more and more damage with it. Particularly this one's got 10% soft attack for line artillery. But unfortunately, you can't unlock that in time because the war is so soon. You don't have enough time to grind that XP. Thank you to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to use the link in the pinned comment or description to play on PC, consoles, or mobile for absolutely nothing. New and returning players who haven't played in 6 months can get a bonus pack with premium US vehicles, Silver Lions, and the premium time on PC and consoles. Play War Thunder for absolutely nothing. Free. And join me clicking the link in the description. Well, there you go. The challenge is now for you. I'm holding my hand out now. You can't see it, but in my hand right now is the challenge of annexing Japan. Your goal now is to beat my record, which is something like, was it June or was it May? I forget. And regardless, beat my record. If you would like to see an extended run of this video and you are a member, you have access to the extra members content. All I'm probably going to do is take out most of Southeast Asia and the subcontinent of India. If you want a full breakdown of more of the strategy of this video, the templates and tactics, that video is also available and it's on screen right now. If your name is on screen right now, you are amazing. You're stunning. And thanks for helping me out with the content. Thank you. If it wasn't for you, this channel wouldn't be alive. You are amazing. Have a good day, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.